Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will add effects to our rock song. Coming up next. Okay, if this is the first time you are visiting this channel, what I'm doing is basically documenting the production process of a rock song from start to finish. We are currently at the mixing stage. This is one of the last videos of this series. You can go ahead and click on the link that's above here and it will take you to the first video of the mixing series. Now, in general terms, this channel is about documenting the production process of a song. So in the future, I will be working with additional songs that will make up initially for an EP and maybe eventually for an album. And we will cover the genres that surround rock music in general terms. Now, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications so that you are aware every time there is new content on this channel. And now, without further ado, let's jump into Pro Tools and start adding some effects to our rock song. Okay, welcome back to the session. I'm joining you today with a delicious coffee. But let's get started. So the idea today is to add effects to each of the sections of our song. I did some preparations beforehand just not to waste too much time, but I wanted to show you guys what is my idea and how I add effects to the session. So first I'm going to work with the drums. And so this auxiliary track that I have here is the output of the drums. And I created a new auxiliary track in which I'm going to add the effect that I'm going to add to the drums. In this case, that's going to be compression, but I'm going to do it in parallel. So I'm going to add a send to the output of the drums that is gonna go to the drums compression, this auxiliary track here. And what I'm going to do is before I do that, one thing that I'm also going to do to all channels is that I'm going to continue with the emulation of the analog summing. So I'm going to add some tape simulation here. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to the tape simulation here. Okay, so we have the signal coming and the tape flavor added to the drums. Now let's work with the parallel compression. So I'm going to add the rack of compressors from Slide Digital. This MU compressor, I'm not going to use it, but I'm going to use this couple of compressors in series because I want to compress the drums a lot, and if I do it in series, it's going to sound more natural. So I'm after 15 to 20 dBs of compression, and I'm going to do that using these two compressors in series. So let's see how we can achieve that. I'm going to start with a 4:1 ratio for both of them. Fast release for both of them. I'm going to play it a little bit, with these settings, particularly with the attack. But let's get started. Let's see how this sounds. Drums start to sound a little compressed now. Okay, so this is a subtle effect, but it is taking me where I wanted to go with the parallel compression. So this would be the first effect. Now let's move on to the next one. Oh, but let's listen to this in the context of the mix first.
Sin rumbo, sin dirección, sin saber dónde ir, me entregué al placer, sin control y sin satisfacción.
You can hear the punch, so pretty effective effect. Now let's move on to the guitars. And what I'm going to do with the guitars is basically I'm going to add a little bit of delay. I'm going to do that just to add a little bit of cohesion and glue to the guitars. And this is the output of the guitars, the auxiliary track that is the output of the guitars. I'm going to add as well, this same tape simulation. Let me just check the levels here and make sure that it sounds okay. Adding a little bit of grid as well. Have to contemplate that, keep that in mind. And the effect that I'm going to use, the delay, I have several, but this is the one that I like for the guitars. Just a very simple delay. And I'm only going to add it to the rhythm guitars because the lead guitars, they already have a lot of reverb. So I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to add it here. I'm going to test it first with this guitar. Let's check out the verse. I'm gonna go with a tempo-based delay here. Not too much, very, I would say, subtle delay as well. Let me copy these to the other track and let's listen to them both. Yeah, the context of the mix.
Sin satisfacción, sin rumbo, sin dirección, sin saber dónde ir, me entregué.
It's very, very subtle, just to add a little bit of glue to them. Now, the next effect that I'm going to use is now I'm going to work with the synths. Let me get that tape simulation here as well. Let's check out the levels. I'm gonna go to the pre-chorus here. Yeah. And the effect that I'm going to use is I'm going to add a delay, same delay to the arpeggiator just to give it a little bit of ambience. Somewhere around here. And also to the piano, I want to add that same a little bit of ambience or repetition in this case to the piano. In the context of the mix. Now the intro without the effects.
Intenté encontrarte en fama, sexo, drogas y rock and roll.
It is subtle, but I like what it does. It adds a little bit of ambience to the sounds. Now for the main vocals, we did that last time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add as well tape simulation to the vocals to simulate that they are being recorded to a to tape.
Hey, sin rumbo, sin dirección, sin saber dónde ir, me entregué.
Yeah, that tape flavor is very nice. And to the harmonies, vocal harmonies, oh, they are here already. So they are already here as well. But what I wanted to do with the harmonies is I wanted them sort of like to feel they are in the same space as with the main vocals, along with the main vocals. So I'm going to add the same reverb that I have for the main vocal. Now let's take a listen to the pre-chorus and the chorus just to see how it sounds.
Pero tú me guiaste a la verdad absoluta, quitaste la carga sobre mí. La vida que siempre busqué, la vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué es Jesús, solo Él es el Rey del amor. La vida que siempre busqué.
Okay, so what I wanted to do here is those harmonies that are high pitched, they sound a little bit more during the chorus, and if I add the reverb, I can hear a little bit of the reverb as well, and that is the effect that I was after in this case for the harmonies. So we have pretty much all of the effects for different instruments and sections of the song. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of compressions to start working with the buzzes a little bit. I have this buzz here which is called All Music Out. Here is where everything is coming here except for the drums, and I'm going to add a little bit of compression just to get it sound a little bit punchier. And it is something that I do, and it usually works. Makes me hear a little more detail in some places, and particularly for the guitars and the bass, I think it does something nice to them. It's not going to be too much, just going to add a little bit of it, not to make it too noticeable. Let's start with a 2-to-1 ratio, and let's leave these two the way they are and see how it sounds.
La vida que siempre busqué, la vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué es Jesús, solo Él es el Rey del amor. La vida que siempre busqué, la vida que siempre anhelé tener.
Listen to the verse.
Sin rumbo, sin dirección, sin saber dónde ir me entregué.
Let's listen to the quiet part.
Hazte de la mano cuando estaba en el piso.
Yeah. So I think it brings together the guitars and the bass a little bit more, and it sort of like controls the bass a little. So I'm going to keep it like this. And now the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to, I would say, prepare the mix bus for what I'm going to do in the next episode, which is pretty much finalize the mix and just work with the levels and make it sound, just finalize the mix, balance stuff and so on. But I like to use a mix box bus compressor here in order to bring again cohesion to the overall song and glue everything together. And that's exactly what I hear when I add this compressor here, which is pretty famous. And I definitely recommend this. If you haven't checked it out, get a trial of it, check it out in your mix bus. You will see how it sounds, particularly for rock. It just sounds so familiar in the first place, and to me it sounds very good. I don't know what it does. I think the drums, they sound, I like the way they sound. So let's take a listen to it. Let's start with the preset here. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go to the chorus here.
La vida que siempre busqué, la vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué es Jesús, solo Él es el Rey del amor.
To me, what I hear is it brings everything together. It compacts things and make it sound punchier, and I don't know, I like the way it sounds. And what I'm trying to achieve here is 2 decibels of compression, but I'm going to use another one to achieve 4. But let's start with 2 decibels. with the settings here. Auto release, 10 milliseconds of attack, 41. Makeup gain, but let me.
La vida que siempre busqué, la vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué es Jesús.
Yeah, that's it. That's how I want it. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Q. This is something that I learned and something that I know that Dan Cornev does. But I'm going to use this EQ here just to add a little bit of power, a little bit power to the bass. I'm going to do this very subtle around at 100 hertz with this feature of this pulse simulation, which what it does is it boosts and attenuates the sound, and it sounds, I like the way it sounds. Just let's take a listen to it.
La vida que siempre busqué,
Without.
la vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué es Jesús, solo Él es el
Yeah, it just, it's a nice sound for the low end. I like it.
rey del amor. La vida que siempre busqué.
Brings more power to the song. And after I incorporate this EQ, which I can come back again later to see if I want to adjust something, I will add another compressor. Good thing you can do this with plugins. I'm not sure that you can do this in real life. I really don't know. With the SSL compressor, this is the compressor that's present in the console, and I'm going to add again 2 decibels of compressor. Maybe I'm going to play a little bit with the attack. I'm going to leave this in auto, but let me see how this sounds with a second compressor.
La vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué es Jesús, solo Él es el Rey del amor, del amor, del amor, del amor, del amor. Me toma la vida que siempre busqué, la vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué es Jesús, solo Él es el Rey del amor. La vida que siempre busqué, la vida que siempre anhelé tener, la vida que siempre busqué.
Oh yeah, I really like it. I really like it. This is gluing everything together. I really like what it does to the drums. I think it brings more power to them. I don't know, but let's take a listen to the verse.
Sin rumbo, sin dirección, sin saber dónde ir, me entregué al placer.
To the quiet part.
Hazte de la mano cuando estaba en el piso.
So it is bringing everything together, and my mix bus is ready for the next step, which I'm going to do with fresh ears, and is finalize the mix, tweak here and there levels, balancing, maybe delete stuff. I don't know. We will see. But for now, I have the effects that I wanted for each instrument or section of our song. Well, okay, we have finished adding effects to our rock song, to our mix. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the process that I followed, about the plugins, about the methods, and so on. Remember that I'm very interested in learning from your ideas, from your comments and observations. So far, this is the method that I've been able to come up with in the last few years, but I think it can always be improved. So I appreciate your comments. If you were able to learn something and found value in this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. That way you will be supporting this channel and we will be able to continue generating new content. In the next video, we will continue our mixing process. We are almost finished. What I'm going to do in the next video is pretty much finalize the mix, do a overall mix starting from the mix bus down. So stay tuned to the channel, don't miss it out, and I will see you guys in the next episode.